Here are the things to do to avoid getting or spreading the coronavirus. Always wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. Carry with you and use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer at all times. Avoid touching your face unnecessarily. When you cough or sneeze, do so in a bent elbow and not in your hands. If you cough or sneeze on a tissue, dispose immediately. Endeavor to wear a face mask when you go out. Dispose of the face mask properly after use. Should you feel unwell and show symptoms, call the NCDC and follow their instructions. Stay safe. Maintain social distance. Fidelity cares about you.
All right, then. Sorry about that. For those of you who are trying to get in, we had an issue with the link, so I had to create another link. So if you're in the Telegram group or you know somebody, I have a feedback issue. Sorry. Yes. So just go to the Telegram group. You'll get the correct link to come on. Thank you. So I'm going to introduce our new guest because time has fast spent. Delayed with the slight technical hitch. So I'm going to introduce him now.
Alex Adefemi, popularly called Triple A, is a human and business performance expert, a UK certified executive business and life coach, performance strategist, as well as business psychologist who works closely with executive directors, managers, general managers, CEOs, and heads of human resource to help them bring out the best performance in themselves and their people every day. He uses tools mainly embedded in psychology and has developed vast experience over the years using them with amazing testimonials. Tools such as performance and life coaching, neuro-linguistics programming, emotional freedom technique, matrix reimprinting therapy, and business psychology. Triple A has helped African organizations and individuals move from a lower level of performance to a higher one. He has about 11 years experience and has developed expertise in several fields. He constantly helps to turn businesses and working class Africans into lifetime warriors by helping them identify their true potentials and consistently move to their next level. He serves on the board of various thriving African businesses and serves as a resource person to other worthwhile causes around the continent. Alex has appeared on several radio and TV stations as well as other media platforms as a respected expert on matters of success, personal development, leadership development, emotional and psychological well-being, love, and relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Alex Adefemi to the Positive and Wellness Summit as she speaks on how to build positive relationships.
Hey. Hey.
You're busy enjoying. You're busy.
Sister Tony. So I'm not to cancel this corporate or this whatever professional whatever. I'm just going to go Sister Tony. I'm only African today, so I have to respect my elders.
Yes.
So,
oh gosh. Good to see you too. Great to have you. Yeah, we are branding. We are branding.
Is matching the
yes.
So I'm not sure if I hope I'm not breaking. It looks like the network is a bit breaking. I'm not sure. Is that can you hear me clearly?
Really?
Can you hear me clearly?
Triple A? Can we hear Triple A? Please, if you can hear, just put I can hear. Okay, I think they can hear you. They can hear you very well.
Fantastic. So, thank you for having me. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
I hand you. You're welcome.
I was worried about that. The network looked like it was a bit shaky for a second there, and I hope this doesn't affect. I don't know if this is I'm still live. I'm not sure.
You are live.
But I hope it.
Hear you clearly. They're all saying we can hear you clearly. We can hear
I
you.
think she's coming back. Yes, it was breaking. I think it was breaking at your end.
Really?
I think
Okay.
I think it's coming back.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I will leave and then I'll give you the platform.
Okay. All right. So you want me to say something now?
Yes, you have 30 minutes.
I have the floor.
You have 30 minutes. Yes, you have the floor.
It's I know that it's been a fantastic summit so far. So far, so good. It's a loaded summit. I mean, the kind of people that were staple to speak at this summit. I feel honored to be able to be asked to speak among them. People like Sam Obafemi, people like Adenike, or Yetunde, people like Kule Pelemo were spoken at this conference. So for me, small boy like me, to be here to speak at this conference, I find it a huge privilege. I will just go straight into it because our time is fast spent, and I just want us to talk about the topic that was given me was building positive relationships, but I kind of want to tweak the topic a bit. So I will talk about what is called cultivating valuable relationships for success. Cultivating valuable relationships for success. Now, why are we discussing this? Because first of all, relationships are vital to the success of any human being. Relationships are vital to the success of any human being. And quality relationships build quality lives. You need to hear that again. Quality relationships build quality lives. So if you want to have a quality life, one of the salient ingredients of having a quality life is quality relationships, being able to build and cultivate quality relationships. And the challenge has been that a lot of people struggle with building the kind of relationship they need for the kind of life they desire. Because where you are going, you will need people to help you get there. And so if you don't know how to identify the right people and then cultivate a relationship with those right people, you are likely to struggle through life. Because if you're trying to do it on your own, or better still, because no man is an island, you are going to likely to have some form of relationships on that journey, and they might not be the relationships that you need. They might actually be the relationships that would deviate you or push you off the track of where you want to be. So my job here is to help you identify the kind of people that you need and how to build cultivate relationships with them. Okay, so first things first, in building any relationships, I'm going straight into it, I'm not going to dilly-dally. First things first is that you must understand who you are. You cannot give what you don't understand, what you don't necessarily. So it's like saying somebody asked you to make them, white soup, or somebody asked you to make them a kind of soup, maybe of Eddie Kind. Now, if you ask me to make you Eddie Kind, you're on your own. Why? Because I don't know how to make Eddie Kind. So how would you ask me if I decide to go on YouTube to learn it? I might poison you. That's just the fact. So why would you ask me that I don't know how to make Eddie Kind to make Eddie Kind for you? You want to die? I mean, let's be realistic. When it's not that you have a death wish, why would you ask me? So it's the same thing that applies here, ladies and gentlemen. The same thing applies here in the sense that you cannot give what you don't understand. You cannot give what you don't understand. So if you do not understand yourself, you can't give yourself. You can only give what you will give a wrong version of yourself, or give yourself away to the wrong set of people. So that's why you find that a situation that a lot of people tend to be loving, caring, good-hearted people, and they tend to fall into the hands of people who take them for granted, who use them, who exploit them, right? So because they don't understand who they really are and the value that they bring, that's why they allow themselves to be used, exploited, and taken for granted, or sometimes even as bad as being tolerated. So if you do not understand who you are, you cannot be able to give yourself. So first things first, you must understand who you are. And how do you understand who you are? You must try to understand your personality, your gifts, your talents, your strengths, your weaknesses. The very essential things. And you must do an expose on who you are. You must do an expose on yourself. And it's until you do that expose on yourself that you can be able to fully understand yourself or understand yourself better. Because the truth is, you might never fully understand yourself. You are a human being. And one of the characteristics of a human being is evolving. A human being evolves. So you would always evolve. You would always change. You would always transform. You would always move with time. Okay, so as time comes, that's why I always tell married couples, and I say, listen, you would never fully understand your wife, right? And even for the wife, you probably never fully understand your husband because the man is evolving. So the guy you married, when you married him, he was probably working in a bank, right? And he was working as a cashier in a bank. 10 years down the line, that guy has now probably become a bank manager. He's not the same guy. Yeah, he's the same husband of yours that you see every day. You see him naked every morning and night. But he's not the same guy in capacity. So if you do not put that capacity into consideration when you're relating with him and dealing with him, you might have issues in that relationship. So people will evolve. That's my point. When people evolve, you must also learn that because people evolve, you yourself as an individual, you're evolving. And because you're evolving, you must be able to understand yourself at the stage that which you are. That's the only way you can actually give of yourself to the world around you. Okay, so that's number one. Now, I have been privileged to be able to build quality relationships over the years, and I find it an honor and I find it a privilege. One of the quality relationships I've built is with the founder of SAMI, Sister Tony Adeshola. I say this because I think I personally think she's a superhero. I personally just think she's a superhero. I have met impressive people. Trust me, I have. I have met some really powerful people. I have relationships with some powerful people. Keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody. So nobody can think that I know Barack Obama or someone. But I have had relationships with some really successful people, let me put it that way, But of all the people that I have a relationship with, one of the people that I actually value their relationship or I respect a lot is Tony Adeshola because of the kind of work she does. It's not really about how powerful you are or how many people know you, or do you own a conglomerate and all that stuff. That's impressive, really good. But somebody who actually touches lives and transforms lives is, in my book, a superhero. And Tony Adeshola is a superhero. So I take it a privilege and an honor to be able to build a relationship with her. Now, people like her are people you should build relationships with as well. So when I'm talking about the quality of relationships I have built over the years, I include people like Tony Adeshola because she is a valuable person to know. She's a valuable person to cultivate a relationship with. So my point is, I have had that privilege and that honor, and I've been able to master the trade of identifying people that can be valuable to me and I can be valuable to. So life has to be of mutual benefit. Hope I'm not advertising for any company right now. Life has to be of mutual benefit. You need to realize that when you give, you should also receive. Life is not one-sided. When you are giving, and you're not receiving, that's a parasitic relationship. And when you are taking, and not giving, guess what? It's still a parasitic relationship. So either way, it is parasitic. But for it to be symbiotic, for it to be a mutual relationship, it has to be give and take. In other words, it has to be give and give. So when the other person is giving, you also are giving. When you are giving, the other person is giving. That's when it is mutually beneficial. And you will grow. Both parties will benefit from it, and both parties will grow from it. So you want to look at what are the ways in which you can build positive, valuable, and mutually beneficial relationship. So number one thing is that you need to understand what the concept of relationship is in the first place. Okay, so I put something here and I said that The way in which two or more people or groups regard and behave towards each other. That's a relationship. The way in which two or more people or groups regard and behave towards each other, that's a relationship. Take, for instance, you have a landlord and tenant relationship. So that's a basic relationship that most people have. You live in a house, and unless you own the house, if you do not own the house, you have a landlord, or you have somebody that stands in as a landlord, or that somebody that owns the property of some sort. And that person, you have a certain relationship with that person, and that relationship majorly, it has to do with a certain time when you pay for your rent, and the person, and then if you have any issues concerning the house, you refer to the landlord and say, landlord, I have this issue, can you please help me solve it? So that is a landlord and tenant relationship. So you also have to look at it from the fact that there are two words here: regard and behave. Okay, so for regard, it is to consider or think of in a specified way. In e.g., she regarded London as her base. To think of and consider in a specified way. So it is something, it is specified. You think of someone in a specified way. So you think of the person you are in love with in a specified way, in the specified way of love, of emotions, of erotic love, of if you might call. So someone you think of and you consider in a specified way. It has to be specified. So she regarded London as a base, as an example. She regarded London as a base. He was highly regarded by senators of both parties. So they highly thought of him and considered him in a honorable way, is what that statement just meant. Now, the second key part of that definition I gave you, I said the two key words are regard and behave. Remember that I said that the definition of relationship for me here is the way in which two or more people or groups regard and behave towards each other. Okay, so behave will now be act or conduct oneself in a specified way, especially, beg your pardon, especially towards others. Interesting. That comes our word again, specified. Act or conduct oneself in a specified way, especially towards others. So how you act, how you conduct yourself in a specified way, especially towards others, is what you call your behavior. Right? Now, how can you influence others and have you been influenced to think and act towards others? How can you influence others? And how, that's the question I'm asking you. And how have you been influenced to act towards others? Think about it. How have you influenced others? And how have you been influenced to think and act towards others over the time? Had there been any time maybe where somebody said something to you about somebody else, and when you met the person, you had an attitude? You may have had an attitude, or you may have behaved in a certain way. Think about it. Or could it be possible that you have said something to other people that made them act a certain way about other people? So those are the things that you call your behaviors and the way you regard them. And so you regard them and behave towards them. So two things are key in any relationship: the regard you have for them and the behavior towards them. I'll say that again. Two things are key in the building of any relationship. It's the regard you have for them and the behavior you have towards them. So one you have for them, the other you have towards them. Okay, so let's keep moving. Now, I'm going to try and wrap this all up in a few minutes because I think I'm supposed to be up till 12:45. I mean, sorry, beg your pardon, till 6:45. All right, so now let's move into the quality, right? The quality of relationships that you should have. Now, to explain this to you, I am going to have to delve into something I love. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, to explain this to you, I'm going to have to delve into something I love talking about. You know what that is? Football. I love talking about football. In fact, right now, I'm not watching football because I'm on this live, and this is more important than football, don't mind me. So now, but Arsenal and Man U are supposed to be playing. I don't know if they played or they're supposed to be playing. I'm supposed to watch that match. I hope Arsenal wins, even though I doubt that Arsenal will, because Arsenal has just been annoying these days. But anyway, now back to the main context that I want to talk about. I was talking about football, and I want to use football to explain something very vital to you so you can understand. Now, I know that not everybody likes watching football, but the analysis or the explanation I'm going to do right now is basic. Anybody will understand it, right? So even though you hate watching football, you see football being played, and you see some things that are consistent. So it's a team of 11 players playing against each other. So 11 players on one side, 11 players on the other side. Okay, and they are competing against each other, and they're in a tussle to find out who will win the match. Now, so one thing you will find out is, first of all, that team has something you call a coach, right? Each team has a coach, the guy or the lady that coaches them to help them, gives them the strategies on what they need to do to be able to succeed or to win the match, right? And then in each, like I said, each team consists of 11 players. So they are teammates, right? The third part is in each football team, there is a bench. That is, the bench are those that are going to come up as substitutes when some players are tired, or maybe one player is not particularly playing well, or maybe the coach wants to change the strategy and decide to bring in a different kind of player. So you have a bench. So three things I've mentioned now. I've mentioned the coach, I mentioned the team, I mentioned the bench. And then the fourth is the fans. The fans. The fans are those that watch the match, people like me, that come and hail the team and encourage the team and give the team psychological and emotional boost to be able to win the game. Now, these relationships, I term them as, I'm bringing them as a metaphor for the kind of relationships you should build if you want to succeed in life. So number one, you need coaches, right? You need coaches. So who are the coaches you need? You need people that would help you, those that have gone ahead of you. They are trained to guide you, and they give you what you call guidance and foresight. They give you what? Guidance and foresight. They see ahead of you. They are trained to be able to help you see clearly, strategize, and find the strategies you need to succeed. So you need coaches, you need mentors, those that have gone ahead of you. You need coaches, you need mentors. These are valuable relationships that you must cultivate if you are going to excel. That's number one. Number two is that you need the team. You need a team. Now, who are the team? Who are your team? Does that mean I must go and set up a team of people that work with me? Especially even if I'm working in a company and I don't necessarily have a team. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean by you need a team is that they are your contemporaries. They provide subtle and healthy competition. They sharpen you. They support you. They work with you to succeed. So yes, it is your game. Yes, it is your, how will I put it? It is your game. It is your match that you are playing for your own career, business, life success, or relationship success. But you see, you need people who are your contemporaries, who are your friends, who are like at the same level as you, who they sharpen you, they ginger you, they drive you to always want to do better. So first of all, you need those above you. You need those at the same level as you. So I call them your team. So you need your team, right? And then you need your squad. That is your bench. You need your squad. Now, who are they? They are the up and coming. They are mostly younger and they look up to you. But don't be mistaken. That they look up to you doesn't mean that they're not going to overtake you very soon if you're not careful. Because they look up to you because right now where they are, you are above them. if they start to, when they start climbing up as well, and you have not transcended and grown beyond where they met you, they now become your contemporaries. They're no more looking up to you. Even if, in African culture, we always want to respect those that are ahead of us. Fine. But if you haven't advanced beyond that level, they do not look up to you anymore. They now become your contemporaries. You have to be very careful. So now they're mostly younger. They're the ones that will take over your role in a few years. And then finally, you have the fans. Now, these fans, they are the crowd. They are your customers. They are your acquaintances. They are family members. They are friends in diaspora. They are friends all over. Their opinion of you matters, or else you will not matter. Their opinion of you matters, or else you will not matter. You would probably hear now of recent of a particular politician who went to say some things on that was recorded while he was at his job, at his work. He said some things and he did not go down well with the people. What happened? The people came after him, literally on social media. And then he had to get to the point where he had to do another video, try to explain himself. And I felt very sorry for him. But the truth is, these are the fans I'm talking about. They are the opinion shapers of you out there. Yes, as much as we tell each other that, you don't focus too much on what the crowd is saying, it's true, because they say one thing today, and if you start doing better, they will say another thing. So you don't have to get carried away with too much about it, but you also have to be cautious about it. So their opinion of you matters, or else you will not matter. You must relate with them through strategic mass communication. Now, how do you identify quality? How do you identify people and people of quality? How do you identify people of quality? First of all, for the coaches, to identify the kind of coaches and mentors that you need, right? First of all, they must have genuine interest in your progress. They must be willing to share their knowledge lavishly with you. And they support and encourage you. So I would use a few examples. I won't mention names, but I've been blessed to be able to have coaches and mentors who have helped me over the years. And this, I'm giving you my own personal experience and my own personal secret that has helped me grow. Now, when I met them, and these are top-end people, especially in Nigeria, these are top-end people. And when I met them, one thing was consistent. And if I don't find it in you, I won't bother. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. I honestly don't care who you are. If I do not find this ingredient in my conversations with you, I would never call you my mentor or my coach. It will not happen. Why? Because I believe that my future is bright, my future is valuable, my life and my contribution, my purpose my destiny is very valuable. It's very important to me and important to the world around me. And if I do not live up to that destiny, I will have shortchanged myself and shortchanged the world. That's my personal belief. And so if I come around you and I do not, I'm not saying that person must, wow, triple A is good to have you as my protege. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when I have conversations with you and I do not sense that you value the fact that even though I'm still behind you, you understand? Even though, like I said, to that particular mentor or coach, I am on the bench. I am the squad, right? I'm not a contemporary. I'm not a team member. I am on the squad. I'm on his squad. Now, even though I realize it, that I am on your bench, I am on your squad, but I must feel that sense of value, that this person values me on their squad. And it's very essential. That's one. That I must also feel that this person has genuine interest in my progress. This person must have genuine interest in my progress. If not, then it's a waste of my time. Because if this person doesn't have genuine interest in my progress, they will not be able to create the time for me, even in their busy schedule, because most of them are always busy. And most of my mentors are busy. It's hard to get a session or a conversation with them. I don't bother a lot of times. It's unless when I really need that conversation with them, I don't bother. I just let them be. But if the time I need it, I cannot get it, then something is wrong. Why? Because it means that you do not have a genuine interest in my progress. If you really have a genuine interest in my progress, you will create that time. Now, they must be willing to, when they now give you that time, they must be willing to share their knowledge lavishly with you. That's another thing I've been blessed with. I've been blessed with mentors, coaches who have been able to share their knowledge with me lavishly. I mean, they let it rip. They let it rip. They don't hold things back. They let it rip. I'm not talking about their personal life. That's not my business. My business is, how can I grow? And they let it rip. So they support and encourage me. They must open to you opportunities to grow. So they must give you opportunities to grow. They must put their arms around your shoulders. They must be willing to give their resources to help you succeed. They must be hungry. They must be hungry. They must be hungry. So if they are not hungry, they cannot inspire you to be hungry. You must see that these people are hungry to move to the next level, to advance, to drive, to thrive. Only then can you be able to be inspired and take motivation from that hunger of theirs to move, to become hungry yourself. Then in dealing with them, do not be entitled. Do not have entitlement mentality in dealing with your mentors and your coaches. So it's a two-way street. Now, these are the things that they must have. These are things that they are looking at as well, looking out for as well in people that in their potential proteges, because a lot of quality people want to give back to the coming generation. Okay, so but they look out for a few things, and I look out for it as well. They must not, the protege must not have an entitlement mentality. Trust me, I have dealt with this issue over and over from people who claim that they want me to mentor them. If you see, some of the, I think I've even lost some messages. If you see some messages I've gotten because they asked me to mentor them, and I had not had the time to actually respond. A lot of times what I do is, sometimes if I'm not too sure, if I don't know the person too well, I take my time. I just say, okay, hello, hi. Suddenly the person reach out to me on social media, or maybe found a way to get through to my WhatsApp message. And then, I just say, hello, hi. I keep it cordial. I just keep it cordial, nothing serious, because I'm watching as well. First of all, my time is precious. There's a lot I'm working on. There's a lot on my plate per time. So if you have a mentor who's not busy, then that person is not fit to be your mentor, because you want a mentor who's busy and that means the person is productive at what they're doing, and they will create results for you. So, and then you'll be able to learn from that result as well and create your own. So most of the times I'm busy, and so this person is sending me messages. So I just say, I just keep it cordial with the person and just watch. And then again, I also allow my spirit to confirm for me that this person is somebody I should invest in. Other than that, the person should go and pay for any of my programs and learn from them. If you really want to learn, show me that, and then I will know that you're really serious. Maybe you bought a program I created, a course I created, you bought any of those, and then now you are trying to use, based on that, you're asking me questions on how to move forward. That alone has shown me that you are serious about your growth and you want to succeed. I've spoken somewhere before where a young man came up to me. I'd given a few people who answered a few questions at the conference as I was speaking, a few of my materials, and the young man came to meet me, well dressed, looking good, dapper, young man, fine boy, probably model self. And he came to meet me and said he wanted me to give him a copy of my product, of my material. And I looked at him and I said, no. I said no, because I feel that you can afford it. You can put your mind to it if you want to put your mind to it and buy a copy. And he said, no, he doesn't really have money right now. I said, no, don't say that. When I was at your stage, when I was buffing up like this, when I was at your stage, I would take my transport fare to buy materials. I would take my feeding money to buy materials. Why? Because I wanted to learn, I wanted to grow, and I wanted to do it at my own cost. So if I could do it when I was at your level, and sometimes I was not even as good, as well dressed as you are, Yes, I shouldn't be carried away by the dressing. He might just even have borrowed the dressing. Who knows? But or maybe that's the best outfit he has. Who knows? But that doesn't matter. You must make an attempt. If you had come to me and said, "Listen, I don't have up to that. I have this amount. Can I buy a copy?" I could have said, "Okay, go ahead and pay that copy. I'll cover the rest." You must show that interest. I think he was just trying to try the faith. Use his faith to possess one, but it doesn't always work like that, guys, and that's the mistake a lot of young people make. Let me not spend too much time in this. Now, you mustn't have an entitlement mentality. Believe in yourself. Ask yourself, what does this mentor need that I can deliver? Very essential. Ask yourself, what does this mentor need that I can deliver? How can I be and communicate value to this mentor? How can I be and communicate value to this mentor? Because remember I told you it has to be a two-way street. This value has to be a two-way street. Okay? Then for the team, they must have a lot of respect for you. They must be strong and skilled at what they do. These are the qualities that you're looking for in the right team, right people around you, right friends, right contemporaries that you want to put around you. You understand? You want to put, there's a saying that show me 5 people and I'll tell you who you are. You understand? Show me the 5 people around you, tell you who you are. So, okay, so I guess Mr. Tony is telling me that my time is almost up. So now, so they must have a lot of respect for you. They must be strong and very skilled at what they do. They must support your success, be and do better. They must be hungry for growth and progress. They must have a lot of respect for you. They must be strong and very skilled at what they do, because when they are skilled at what they do, it also inspires you to do better. Remember, it has to have some form of healthy competition among you and those your friends and those your contemporaries. There must be some form of, when someone is doing something, you be like, oh yeah, I like this. I'm going to make sure I'm doing my own as well. Not because you are jealous or envious, no. But it is because you see what they're doing and it spurs you to go and also create value on your own, right? They must support your success. And when you are succeeding, they must hail you and say, oh, yes, go ahead, go for it, okay? And they must challenge you to be better and do better. They must challenge you to be better and do better. So and they must be hungry. That word comes again, hungry. They must be hungry. If you don't have hungry people around you, you will starve. That's a powerful statement. If you don't have people around you, you will starve. And what must you give them? You must observe well before you approach. Find something you both enjoy and create time when you both can do it. Play games together. Invest time and resources. Show them you value them. And then finally, the squad. I think, how many minutes do I have left?
Actually, your minutes pass. Our next guest is on the, so I just give you like 2 minutes max to just round up.
Right. All right. So 2 minutes, I'll round it off. So that I'm ending in 2:53. All right. So now the final one, ending in 6:53. Sorry, my time is different.
I know.
They must be hungry. That word comes again. Hungry. They must be hungry. They must be willing to work. That squad of yours, those that are coming behind you, those that are your proteges that you are bringing up, they must be driven. They must be success-minded. They must see potential, that you must see potential in them. They must be hungry. They must be willing to work. They must be driven. They must be success-minded, and you must see potential in them. They must be hungry. Don't go and just gather people and say, because you are looking for clout. You say, they are my proteges. I just gather anyhow people around you. They will draw you down. So now, what must you give to them? Observe well before you approach. Find something you both enjoy for you both to do it. Play games with them. Invest time with them. Show them you value them. Oh my. I actually swept. Yes. Okay. I'm supposed to talk about fans. My apologies. Now, for the fans, these are the people that are around you, that people that are hailing you, people that are supporting you. They see you as someone that they like and approve of. They love watching you. They spread their opinions about you. They have controlled encounters with you and buy from you. They are not obliged to have any loyalties to you, but they can be emotionally connected or disconnected based on what they observe, and they think and act about you. Based on what they observe and how you think and act consistently. As long as they think I'm reading this. As long as they think positive about you, as long as they think positive about you, it is fine. Their relationship with you can be grouped into 4 different levels. They like you, they can love you, they can dislike you, or they can hate you, but you need them. So you must be able to cultivate relationships with the general populace if you are going to grow, if you are going to be regarded, because you never know who will be in any situation to speak on your behalf. Now, finally, know your strengths, project it to them, find common ground with them, that is brand association, know what they want, and do your best consistently to deliver it to them. Be generous, be consistent, and they will love you. So I think I will stop here. We didn't start
sorry
early, so
about that.
I didn't get enough time to, but it's okay. I totally understand.
Actually, you know your 30 minutes. Yeah, but you even done your 30 minutes. You done your 30 minutes. Yes. You didn't realize.
Oh my.
I just gave you extra time.
Let me just say final thing to them. Listen, in life, if you want to go fast, go alone. But you will not go far. But if you want to go far, go with people. So you need to build relationships that will help you go far in life. That's pretty much that's what I'll end it.
Definitely.
I believe this video is going to be recorded. They'll be able to watch it later and have access to it. I believe.
Definitely. I even said that because of time, they have questions. They put in the comment box so that you can look through on the YouTube page and answer. If they have questions.
Fantastic. Okay, so we can go to the YouTube page and answer. Is that what you mean?
Yes, you can go to the YouTube page and answer their questions.
I'm here.
All right, I'll do that. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's always an honor. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too. All right, guys, we have to quick go because the time is, and I'm sure a lot of you need to start getting ready for work tomorrow and all other things. So we'll quickly bring on our next guest, and I'll play his bio. He's going to be our keynote speaker for today, and he's going to be talking about healthy strategies for successful living based on preventive care. Thank you.
Dr. Ebun Ladipo Bangwe is a consultant physician and nephrologist with special interest in nephrology, kidney medicine. He is the head of the dialysis/transplant unit at St. Nicholas Hospital and the clinical director of the hospital. Dr. Bangwe began his journey with St. Nicholas Hospital since February 1998. Over the years, he has developed one of the most prestigious and functional dialysis units, which receives referrals from around the world. The renal transplant unit has been running for over 14 years now and was the first unit in Nigeria and the sub-region to perform successful kidney transplants to date. Dr. Bangwe has several publications to his credit and is currently the president of Nigerian Association of Nephrology. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Ebun Bangwe, to the Positive and Wellness Summit as he discusses key strategies to develop a healthy lifestyle.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Great to have you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. Very well, very well. Sorry about the technical glitch. We're back now. And I hope you can hear Dr. Bangwe. Please give me a clap or a fire emoji or whatever to let us know that you can hear. Okay. So I will share this. Okay, you share the screen. Let me add to the stream. Okay. All right, I'll hand it over to you and take it away.
Okay, so thank you, Tony. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I hope you all can see my screen. Tony, just confirm that you're actually seeing my screen.
I'm seeing the screen.
So,
yes.
Thank you for inviting me to this, your Positive Wellness Summit 2020. I've always been intrigued and highly motivated by you, Toyin, and your remarkable strength to be able to put together this advocacy and management initiative and sustain it over the years. And I'm really proud of you. And I know that many people are inspired by what you've been able to do. So, like I said, thank you for inviting me. And over the next couple of minutes, what I would try to enlighten the public and our listeners on is generally the health aspect of healthy living. We'll try and define what health is, compare that with wealth, and say which one is more important, your health or your wealth. We'll speak a bit about the health statistics in Nigeria, but really focus on the key strategies to prevent any deterioration in your health and those healthy lifestyles that we all should be encouraging. If there's time, we might just say a few things about COVID-19. So what is health? Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. So it's not just the absence of sickness. So for you to be healthy, you have to be physically, mentally, and socially well. And we should recognize that health is a resource for everyday life, and it is not just the objective of living. So healthy living to most people would mean both physical and mental health has to be in balance. And both of them quite closely are linked, so that one affects the other. So if mentally you're not well, it can manifest as physical illness. And of course, if you're worried about your physical illness, it can affect you mentally as well. So some of the tips that I would be sharing over the next couple of minutes would also include suggestions for emotional and mental healthy living. So what is health? Physical fitness is good bodily health and is usually the result of regular exercise, proper diet and nutrition, and proper rest for physical recovery. And the Lalonde report suggested that there are 4 general determinants of your health. Aside from your human biology, that is how well your different body organs are functioning, it's also, your health is also determined by your environment. So if you have an environment that is dirty, that contains a lot of open gutters that breed mosquitoes, then you could end up having malaria. It's also a function of your lifestyle. So if you don't sleep well, if you drink, you smoke, all these are things that we know can negatively affect your health. But also, it's dependent on the healthcare services that are available to you. So if you're ill and there's no hospital that is appropriately skilled and equipped to deal with your illness, then of course that would negatively affect you as a person. What are the causes of chronic diseases? And it's not just the things that we might think about. The world has become a global village. We've become gradually a lot more urban than we were before. And as you'll see, that also includes us here in Nigeria. And the population is aging. And with all these come certain factors, both modifiable and modifiable, that ultimately would affect our health. We are now eating unhealthily because you leave the house early in the morning and you come back late at night, you don't cook at home. So you end up eating fast food. Fast food makers, to make sure that their food is tasty, add a lot of salt, add a lot of ingredients that are not necessarily the best for your health. Because you go in your vehicle to work, you sit at your desk, you get home, you're tired, there's not enough of physical activity. And many of us take on these not the best of habits like smoking and drinking, all of which could ultimately affect your health. And the end result of all of that is that the percentage of people that have hypertension is progressively increasing. Our blood sugars are becoming much higher than they should be. Our lipids, the fat in our blood, is increasing and becoming abnormal. And the percentage of people that are overweight or obese are progressively increasing. The end result is, of course, there's an increase in the incidence of heart disease, there's an increase in the incidence of stroke, cancers are becoming more common, and of course, diabetes is becoming more common. What are the top 10 causes of death in Nigeria? We have a mixture of both communicable diseases like malaria, respiratory tract infection, and diarrheal diseases, and the non-communicable diseases like your cancer, your stroke, your kidney failure. All are things that very commonly can affect you and lead on to mortality. Nigeria progressively is becoming a world power, thank God. Maybe not where we should be, but we must recognize that there are certain things about our country that influence our health. First of all, we're the 7th most populous country in the world. We come after China, India, the US, Indonesia, Brazil, and Pakistan in that order. And the number of us is progressively increasing. From 2010, when we were just 158 million, we're now estimated to be, in 2020, 205 million. It's estimated that by 2050, we actually will be the 3rd most populous country in the world. If we continue at the rate that we're going, we would have by then surpassed the US, which is number 4. Aside from that, we're also one of the youngest countries in the world. If you look at the median age in 2020, the median age in Nigeria in 2020 is actually 18 years. The implication of that is that 50% of us are either 18 years and younger. And this is where we are in the Committee of Nations. We find that we're a very young population. And like I said before, we are all becoming a lot more urban. And with that, the habits of living in the city. And currently, where over 50% of us now live in the various cities and urban areas in our country, Nigeria. And yet we do not have a health services structure that is appropriate for our citizenry. Universal health coverage, which was promulgated by both the UN and the WHO, which advises that every country by 2030 should ensure that all citizens of that country have access to health care at no charge, funded by taxes. It actually means that all the people should have access to quality health services they need when and where they need them without having financial hardship from it. And it's one of the cornerstones of the 17 SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, it's the 3rd one, and which states good health and well-being. It ensures healthy lives and promotes well-being for all at all ages. The focus of that is actually to ensure that we achieve universal health coverage in all nations in the world by 2030. But we know where we are in this country. Nigeria's health sector is underfunded, and there just aren't enough doctors. So even though we have 23,640 hospitals, the ratio of doctors to patients is about 1 doctor to about 5,000 patients. We're not spending enough. WHO recommends that we should spend close to 15% of our health budget on health, and all we're spending is a little under 4%. Consequent on that, most people pay for their health out of pocket. Expenditure on health as a percentage of private expenditure on health is about almost 96%. The consequence of that is the quality of healthcare that we have. So we have your herbalists, we have your Dr. Juma that can treat and solve many problems, such as swollen body, which to all intents and purposes might be kidney failure. But the same potion that he advances for use in that is the same thing he uses for court case, for bad luck, or customer attraction. Our herbalists have gone digital. They now have computers to help them with their work. We have prophets that have healing sessions, and services are all day for God's work, and there's a price for every one of those. Our churches Run for Your Life International Chapel. Let the weak says, I am strong. There's Friday for healing and prayers. And some of our hospitals, particularly in the more rural areas, have this Makina Royal Clinic with a small doctor in front of it and the nurse. I'm certain if you attend this hospital, you're probably going to end up with something you didn't present with in the first place. And even the more specialized units delve into things that they shouldn't do. So you have Ebenezer Dental Clinic, a dental clinic which is dealing with menstrual pain, fibroid, stomach ache, stomach trouble, cough, chest pain, everything else but what it has been set off to do. Our health, many foreign hospitals are now being set up. Indian hospital, Turkish hospital. You can be certain that they don't necessarily have the interest of our citizenry at heart. And you have Chinedu Hospital, which has adult pediatrics, whatever that might mean. So we know that our health statistics are such that 1/3 of the world population is at risk, particularly for kidney conditions. High blood pressure is very common, and easily 30 to 40% of us have high blood pressure. Diabetes, 20 years ago, the prevalence of diabetes in our environment was 2.2. Progressively, it has increased to 8.8, and I think some studies actually say about 1 in 10 of us in Lagos have diabetes. Obesity is becoming more common, even from very young age. And the consequence of that is that we're having cardiovascular disease, we're having heart attacks, we're having strokes, we're having kidney failure. When this study was done in the southeastern part of the country, we found that over almost 30% of the individuals in that study had hypertension, 6% had diabetes, 15% were obese, and already almost 12% had evidence of kidney damage as a consequence. These are the common things that cause kidney issues, and this is just as a surrogate to most of the other things that we'll be talking about. Spoken about hypertension, which in individuals over 50, you might find as many as 50% of individuals with hypertension. Diabetes, 10%. Chronic glomerulonephritis, which very frequently follows up on chronic infections, also very common. Abuse of analgesics, abuse of bleaching creams, abuse of native herbs. These are all things that we must recognize are adversely affecting our health. And if we're going to prevent a deterioration in the health in any way and manner, we have to be certain that we guard against. So I'll just pick a few of them and just look through them very quickly. I've told you about body mass index, obesity that is increasingly becoming common. You find that the bigger you are, the greater the incidence of protein in your urine. And protein in the urine is a marker, is a surrogate marker for damage to your kidneys. The more smoking that you do, also an increase in the incidence of protein in the urine. The greater the amount of alcohol that you drink, the greater the unadjusted odds ratio of your developing kidney failure. And of course, if you eat too much protein, similar, you find that renal failure also is an issue. And then some factors that are not generally in our own direct control, but which also is a factor of what we as humans are doing to our environment. You find that the global temperature has increased by almost 1 degree centigrade over the last 100 years. And this is a chart just looking at the rise in temperature of the world from 1860 till the year 2010, 2020 actually. And you find that progressively the temperature of the world is increasing. Because of this rising atmospheric temperature, your sea level is rising, and there's a reduction in the snow cover. The consequence of that is that we have unhealthy air quality. And if you take the top 10 countries with unhealthy air quality, you find that majority of them, of course, are in developing countries, but our dear country, Nigeria, comes in at number 10. But more frightening, if you look at the 20 worst cities worldwide, and this is from the WHO for air pollution, you find that the worst city in the world is actually Onitsha in Nigeria. And at least 3 other Nigerian cities enter this top 20 chart. They include Kaduna, Aba, and Umuahia, all of which have annual mean micrograms per cubic meter of pollutants greater than what is expected for, a city inhabited by people. And we know why. There's crude oil exposure. This is what happens in the South. This is what happens in people with illegal refineries, also seen very commonly in the South. And then other things as well. I think it's said that the average woman wears about 515 chemicals on the average per day. Between your mascara, your lipstick, your lip gloss. If you count the total number of chemicals that you're wearing on an average day, it's about 515. And the consequences of that is that they have 200 times the risk of developing chronic illnesses, particularly affecting the kidney and the liver, the risk of you having an allergic reaction. The hydroquinone and heavy metals like mercury that these things contain generally tend to have negative effects on your health. So what should we do? We should, for instance, be certain that we screen ourselves for many of these long-term consequences of not looking after ourselves properly. So hypertension, your blood pressure should be checked anytime you have an opportunity. So even if you go into hospital with malaria, it's an opportunity for somebody to check your blood pressure. If you're elderly and you have recurrent symptoms, it's an opportunity for you to check. Of course, pregnant women during their pregnancy, they usually will be checked for their blood pressure as part of the antenatal care that they have. And certainly, if any member of your family is ill, it's always wise for you to check yourself and make sure that you don't have a similar illness. And usually the 8 golden rules to reduce this risk is that you have to keep fit and active. I will talk about that in a bit more detail. Check and regulate your blood sugar, monitor your blood pressure, eat healthily, make sure you maintain a healthy fluid intake. You shouldn't take less than 4 to 6 full glasses of water per day. Certainly don't engage in bad habits of smoking and drinking. Don't take over-the-counter drugs, and make sure that your kidney function is checked if you have any of the more things that are listed. Why is there a need to screen? Why? Because it's nice for you to detect any illnesses that you have in the early stages when we're not symptomatic for those illnesses. We recognize that many of these illnesses remain not symptomatic, asymptomatic, even late into the illness. And by the time the symptoms manifest, it's very often too late. So that's why you should be screened well before you end up with any of these illnesses. And many of these diseases can be detected by very simple and cheap screening tests. Check your urine, check your blood pressure, do a glucometer for your blood sugar. And most of these diseases, when they're detected early and controlled, you can actually prevent them from long-term consequences. And who and when everybody should, certainly once you cross the age of 40. Women during antenatal care, so they're lucky. If there's a person in your family with either hypertension or diabetes, then it's wise that you should ensure that you are screened earlier than others. And then you go into the hospital for any other routine illness, like malaria, make sure you are screened. Then, of course, if there are infective conditions, make sure that the family members of that index case are screened. So what are the lifestyle modifications that we should engage in to ensure that we continue to remain well and prevent some of these illnesses from occurring? We all should increase the amount of activity that we're engaged in. You must ensure that you are engaged in at least 30 to 90 minutes of exercise, at the very least 3 to 5 times every week. And that activity should be enough to raise your pulse to at least 25% above the baseline. So if your pulse is like 60 normally, then whatever activity you engage in for that 30 minutes to 1 hour should raise your pulse to at least 80 to 90. And as such, always use any opportunity that you have to exercise. So when you can, if you're in a building, no matter how many floors it is, if you can, use the steps, don't use the lift. We know that regular exercise can prevent and reverse age-related decreases in muscle mass and strength. It helps to improve your balance, flexibility, and endurance, and it decreases the risk of falls in the elderly. So if you're elderly, even just a walk round your compound for 15 to 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day if you can, at least 3 to 5 times a week, has been known to be of great advantage to improving your muscle mass and coordination. It also helps to increase your self-esteem, self-confidence, and it helps to decrease stress and anxiety in most people and improve your mood. And like I said, it can be any kind of exercise. It can be from chewing gum and walking at 2 miles per hour, to bicycling, to walking at 4 miles per hour, to gardening, to climbing steps, or running at 6 miles per hour. Whatever you find convenient to do that you can do on a regular basis, please engage in it. If it's bicycling, you might decide to go with your partner, the goat, or the cow, whichever one you want to do, but sadly don't be like this gentleman who's watching everybody else exercise and he's busy sitting down, clapping, and taking all the things that he shouldn't be taking. You should eat healthily, and your diet should include things that are high in fiber. You should take a lot of fruits and vegetables. Make sure that your meal sizes are moderate. And whether we believe it or not, our typical African diets are better than the Western diets. Should ensure there's less frying and take less of the highly processed or refined meals. You should eat your 3 meals a day. Avoid the one late in the evening being the heaviest of those meals. And the bulk of food should consist of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and low-fat milk products. If you must, take lean meat, not fatty meat. Take poultry, fish, beans, eggs, and nuts in a healthy diet. Choose those foods or the foods that are low in saturated fats, trans fats, and cholesterol. And certainly ensure that you reduce the salt and sugar in your meals. And generally take smaller sizes and eat the smallest portion that can satisfy hunger, and then stop eating. You can snack, but that should be in moderation. And the things you should use will be things like fruits. Take an apple, take some nuts. And these are things that will satisfy your hunger and not cause excessive weight gain. Avoid soda drinks. I'm sure we've all seen clips of how much sugar is contained in Coke, Fanta, and all these other carbonated drinks that we take. And avoid eating a large meal before you sleep at night. Otherwise, there's a risk that you might have gastroesophageal reflux and also weight gain. Don't binge eat. Don't, because you're angry or you're worried or you're anxious, decide to go and eat. That's one of the things that we know encourages obesity. Avoid rewarding children with sugary snacks. Don't say, okay, you've done well today, go and take an ice cream or take a cake. Okay, you've done well today, we'll stop by to buy ice cream. That way, it becomes a lifelong habit for the child. Rather than that, give him a carrot, give him an apple, give him something that is a little healthier than the things that contain a lot of sugar. Avoid heavy meals, especially during a hot day. Many of us know if you go and eat a whole meal of amala or pounded yam, almost immediately after, you feel like going to sleep. Make sure that you cook your food, because this destroys any infective agents that are in. But if you have to eat uncooked food, make sure that you thoroughly clean them with running water that is safe to drink. And then avoid eating raw or undercooked meat of any sort. Don't be like this young boy who's a couch potato, sits in front of the television, busy eating fries, and has a whole bottle of a carbonated drink of this lady who's all to herself eating a whole cake. Should eat more fiber, eat more of the African diet, and eat healthy snacks, pineapple, coconuts, orange, bananas. All these are things that would fill you and would not necessarily make you gain weight. It's also important to note that your mental health is also just as important as your physical health. So healthy living involves more than physical health. It also includes emotional or mental health. And to ensure this, make sure that you get enough sleep, usually not less than 7 to 9 hours of sleep. The elderly people also need this amount, but they may not sleep as deeply and may awaken in between, probably to go and use the toilet at some point. So a little nap in between during the day is also helpful to make sure that they can get an adequate amount of sleep. Take a walk, that helps. And whilst you're at it, reflect on what you see and hear. You should try something new, either a new meal or a new menu or a new, recipe. Try and do something new every day. Exercise your mind, read, do a puzzle, play Scrabble, do Sudoku, do something that exercises your brain and helps you to relax. And then plan to spend some time talking with other people about different subjects. You must make leisure time to do things that interest you every week. And that's why I never discourage people who want to watch football, who want to watch tennis, who want to watch the opera, or go and listen to some concerts at Museum or something. You must learn ways to say no when something occurs that you do not want to do or be involved with. You should have fun when you can. Go on a trip, go on a cruise, go fishing, go shopping. Do something that you enjoy doing. And don't be a workaholic and let vacation time slip away. Make sure that you are pleased with your achievements, whether they be big or small, and be contented with whatever it is that you're able to do. And then have a network of friends, those with strong social support system that lead healthier lives. The other things that you should do, certainly nobody should smoke, but if you smoke, try and make sure that you stop. It takes as long as 10 to 15 years for a person who stops smoking to achieve a normal risk level for heart disease and lung cancer. Make sure you brush and floss daily to keep your teeth and gums healthy and free of disease. Make sure that you don't consume alcohol in excess because this can lead on to liver cirrhosis, liver cancer, and it's certainly one of the more common causes of road traffic accidents, even in our own environment. Avoid high-risk sexual behavior. It can lead to acquisition of various forms of STDs, which have long-standing or long-lasting consequences. Then, of course, meditate, pray, or find solace for at least 10 to 20 minutes each day. Most of us would, of course, pray first thing in the morning. Make sure that you smile and laugh out loud several times a day. Keeps you grounded and helps you cope with situations that will otherwise make you feel anxious. Thank God in Nigeria, we are probably the top praying country in the world. You find that in China, only 1% of them say that they pray every morning. Russia is 18%, and the US is 55%. But Nigeria, it is 95% of us pray. Maybe that's why our coping mechanisms are slightly better than you find in other countries. So many people spend their health gaining wealth, and then they have to spend their wealth to regain their health. Let that not be the case for us. And it is said, I think it was Mahatma Gandhi that said it, it is health that is real wealth, and not pieces of gold and silver. I think that's my final slide. Thank you very much, and I'll listen to whatever questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Very enlightening and educative. There's a question for you. What kind of drink is suitable for intake apart from water?
Well, apart from water, water is ideal. Certainly, if you're going to take anything, you can take some juices, some fruit juices, and not any that you add carbonated, um, that you've had extra sugar added to. Some people
Mm-hmm.
take well, but note that tea also does contain some caffeine.
Caffeine, yeah.
If you must take it, try not to take too much milk, and if you must, use skimmed milk, not milk that contains a lot of fat. Coffee, of course, is not good unless you can get decaffeinated coffee. The best is water.
Yeah,
We all develop a taste for taking water.
exactly. Somebody is asking, what can you recommend for those who read and forget?
Well, there are ways by which you can get around that. I mean, naturally, for every single person, as you grow older, your capacity to be able to remember diminishes. And usually, the way to go about it is get a small diary and write the things that you would rather not forget down. Thank God now you have your smartphones. Some notes that you can always reference much later, and it helps
Mhm.
you organized. So that's one way of getting around it. Everybody would eventually lose the capacity to remember things as well as they might have in the past. Just learn mechanisms around it. And one of them is the one that I've mentioned.
Okay. Somebody says, is Hollander yogurt healthy? Because I take it a lot. Nah, it's not. It's not real yogurt. They mix it also. But let me leave you to answer.
Yogurt is good, but it has to
Yes.
be plain yogurt, not the
Yeah, it
one
has to be.
with sugar. Yeah.
Mm, exactly. Um, somebody says, please explain more on the African meal part. Some health professionals have said it's bad.
No, that's not completely true. If you take the typical native African diets, not the ones that have been anglicized by the fast food joints,
Mm.
amala, pounded yam, with a foriro, with not too much of oil and
Oil.
fat. So those are the things that you should take. And you take your corn, you take your garden egg, those are the things that we take traditionally are actually very healthy things. And what we find is that with our changing diet also has been a changing pattern of illness. There's some things that we never used to see in the past. And all of a sudden, with our westernized diet, we're now seeing a lot more of things like colon cancer. Never used to be common in our environment.
Mm.
Now, one of the commonest cancers that you get in both men and women. Diabetes never used to be common. Like I said, 20 years ago, only about 2.2% of the population had diabetes. Now, certain studies are showing 8.8, even 10%. So the typical African diet is the best. If you
Yeah.
can, just stick to that.
Yeah. Somebody, okay, let me not miss. Somebody says, what can you tell someone that exercises regularly and eats healthy but finds it difficult to sleep?
Sometimes that's a gift. I mean, the capacity to be able to hit the pillow and sleep immediately. But what I usually would do is, like this night, for instance, once I get home, I'm going to go and exercise and then take a shower. And I usually find that once I do that, it makes it easier to sleep. For some people, that works. Just taking a
Mm,
warm shower just before you sleep helps. But certainly, other things like making sure you switch off the lights, making sure you don't have the television on in your, making sure that you switch your phone off or you turn it upside down and keep it away from you and keep it on silent. All these are things
mm,
that encourage you to sleep better.
yeah. Hafsa says, how often can one be prone to having malaria? That's from a sickle cell warrior.
Well, first of all, I mean, we do know that there are some people that are more prone than others. We know that if your genotype is AA, you're not as well protected as somebody who is AS. Okay, but certainly we know that as you improve the environment, make sure you don't have open gutters. Make sure that you have wire netting in your residence. The mosquitoes that bite malaria only bite at night. So make sure you don't go out at night. And if you have to go out at night, make sure you wear clothing that will properly cover you. Um, there's things that you can do that will prefer or give you some level of protection against malaria. And
Yeah.
who have the tendency to get it, or if when they get it, because then probably best that you also take medications that help prevent
Prophylaxis.
so take
Very,
your
yeah,
malaria.
yeah, yeah. Michael, I think, says, I read plantain contains iron. Is it suitable for people with sickle cell? I know the answer to that, but I'll let you answer. I think there's this
The
thing
amount of
about
iron it
iron
contains,
supplement.
the iron it contains is not much.
Much, exactly.
I think there's some concern that yes, if you have sickle cell disease, you shouldn't take additional iron, but
Iron.
the amount in plantain will not be adverse.
Yeah.
So you can still take what you
Abby,
do.
Abby. Abe says, what about students who have the inability to retain what was learned or taught? I think he's basically asked that question. But I will add that a lot of times it's because of stress that we cannot, when you're reading, you're trying to study, you're trying to cram all sorts of things at once, and your stress level becomes high, so you tend to forget a lot. I think you should just learn to pace. We have been taught that we should just cram, cram, cram. If it's something that you've been progressively doing, I don't think you'll easily forget like that. I believe so. But if you want to add, Ebo, you can.
Yeah, I think you've basically answered it. But that's where the pattern of learning, the mode of teaching in Nigeria is
Becomes
quite different
yeah,
from elsewhere. Because if you actually give examples in the process of teaching the students, they're more likely to remember. They're more likely to, retain what you've taught them much more easily. Expect them to just cram and regurgitate what they've crammed. So really, our teachers should look at better ways of imparting knowledge to various.
yeah. Exactly. The last question is almost bordering on. I know a lot of all of us are worried about studying and reading and our capacity to just relax and take it easy when reading. I know, as he said, we've been taught to cram and cram, but it's a gradual thing. Don't wait till the last minute to study. Once you do have a lecture, try and study. Not waiting till exam time or near exam time. That will help a bit. And studying for hours on end, there's only a percentage of the amount of stuff you can take in your brain. Your brain can only take so much. So you need to rest, then come back. Don't just say you want to read for 4 hours and think that everything will enter your head. It would not. Somebody says, her tummy is so big. I've done all the necessary tests and nothing. Said do liposuction. My network is
Well, you see, there are just certain things that you should avoid eating. If you avoid eating
caps,
things that
caps.
contain a lot of carbohydrates,
Yeah.
of fat, there's always a tendency as you grow older that you retain that fat around. Um, liposuction, as you know, is It's not a procedure that is not without potential complications.
Yeah, exactly.
Some very famous person in Nigeria went and did it, and we know the consequences, even though it was even done outside of the country. So we should all be the best from happening in the first place. And if you actually exercise, walking, ensure that you walk upright and straight, and you try to contract your stomach muscles as you do it, you find that naturally that stomach fat will.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the last question, guys, because our next session is waiting. And I know Dr. Bambui has a lot. He's a busy man. As you can see behind the scenes, he's in the hospital. So after sleeping on the mosquito nets, I really want to know, is it very common among warriors?
Who are warriors? Is that a slang that I'm not familiar with?
Yes, we call ourselves sickle cell warriors.
I see.
That's what we call ourselves, sickle cell warriors.
Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily more common, but the consequences are more severe if you, as a sickler, get malaria. It's more likely to trigger what we call a vaso-occlusive crisis. You're going to end up with bone pain crisis or any of the more severe forms of crisis. So it's always best to prevent. And that's why you find that the recommendation is that you must take a medication every day that helps prevent malaria. I think most people will take proguanil, and that is still effective, and the risk of undue side effects from that is also limited.
Yeah, and I know a lot of times we don't tend to take our paludrin or eludrin. Let's face it, admit it, we forget or we skip. So it's very important that we have to. If you are the type of person that is prone to malaria a lot, try and maintain the regular intake of your paludrin or eludrin, whichever one you take, and that will help. All right, well, thanks so much. Let me let you go.
Thank you very much for having me. I hope you enjoyed the session.
I think they do, because I think this is one of the most questions. I was thinking, when will it end?
Okay, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the session.
Thank you very much.
Bless you all.
Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, guys. Debaters are waiting in session. If you have questions, you can send to me. I can send it to Dr. Bambui, and then we'll be able to reply you back through the comment box. Anyhow, we're waiting for we have right now our moderator for the debate, and two of the teams are online. While he's preparing and trying to get the other people on the call, I'll just take this brief message from our sponsors. Without our sponsors, we couldn't have breakfast this year, so we have to always do that. Thank you.
Here are the things to do to avoid getting or spreading the coronavirus. Always wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. Carry with you and use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer at all times. Avoid touching your face unnecessarily. When you cough or sneeze, do so in a bent elbow and not in your hands. If you cough or sneeze on a tissue, dispose immediately. Endeavor to wear a face mask when you go out. Dispose of the face mask properly after use. Should you feel unwell and show symptoms, call the NCDC and follow their instructions. Stay safe. Maintain social distance. Fidelity cares about you.
Okay, guys, we are ready for the battle. And I'll hand you over to moderator. While others the teams are being prepped to take over this event. Please be on this call because you're going to vote for the best team. Okay, I think our moderator has just been cut off. Oh dear, network issues are coming up. Yep. Okay, I'll just, in the meantime, if you have any questions, don't forget to drop the line. We'll be drop it on the comment box. We'll be able to get it to our doctor. Yes, thank you, Abe. I hope you all enjoyed the last session. Sorry for the delay. As of course, we have network issues, so some people have sort of dropped out due to technical issues, but I'm sure they will be back. Yes, we got our people back. So, welcome back, Toby.
Hi, Auntie Toy, how you doing?
I'm fine. So
It's been a great ride.
Yes, we finally done the day or the process, and we are at the very last event, and we're going to make
That's
it
right.
fun and interesting.
That's right. It's gonna be great tonight as we hit the road for the grand finale.
Okay, I hand you over and to get the whole process going.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys, you're welcome to the grand finale event. Our 2020 Positive and Wellness Summit debate is going to be hot, hotter than Trump and Biden's debate. So go and call your friends to come and watch this debate because in the next few minutes, we're going to be hitting the road with 4 impressive and impactful speakers. Now we're going to have 2 teams. Each team will constitute of 2 people, and they're going to be speaking for different motions. So we have this motion. A team will be speaking for eat to live, while a team will be speaking for live to eat. So it's a wonderful twist. So we have 2 contestants that will speak on eat to live, and these contestants are Abbas Temitokbe and Fumilola Oyekolade. So they are being tagged team green and grain. So they're going to speak on eat to live. Then the next team will speak on live to eat, where we have Zandra Inwogu and Mayowa Okukomi. So they're going to team up together to give us points on live to eat. So to ensure that we have equitable scoring, we have 2 categories of scorers. We have our judges and we have you, the people. Is that going to be interesting? So all of you will get a chance to vote your best team at the end of their pitch, at the end of their debate. So, but we have 3 judges. So let me tell you about the judges. We have 3 judges, 1 from South Africa and 2 in Nigeria. So the first judge is Mr. Babajide Olowokere of Big Ambitions, South Africa. So he's going to be in the YouTube community to also judge. Then we have Mrs. Foluke Ogunbekun, one of the board members of SAMI. She's going to be our second judge. Then the third judge will be the delectable Maureen Nwachi, our HR and program manager at SAMI. So these 3 will be our judges. They will collect their points, while you also, the audience, will collect your points. So there are 3 areas we're going to be scoring these debaters. 3 areas. Number 1, we're going to be scoring them on the relevance of what is being said to the topic. So if they are speaking on it to live, they're going to score them based on the relevance of what is being said. Number 2, we're going to score them on articulation. How articulate are they in expressing their thoughts? Then number 3, we're going to score them on creativity. How creative are they? How charismatic are they? How can they move us? So each of these points is going to be scored based on 1 to 10. So for each speaker, we will grade them between 1 to 10. We'll scale them on 3 parameters: on relevance of what they are saying, on articulation, and on creativity. So this is how it's going to go. The first team will speak. Each team member has 4 minutes to give their opening hits, while they will now come back to give their rebuttal with 2 minutes each. So when they finish that one, we'll now collate. So the first thing it to leave will first take their 4 minutes for their opening uh, pitch, while the second group will give their 4 minutes for their own opening pitch. Then the group will now come back and give their 2 minutes rebuttal. So I'm going to serve as the moderator and also the timekeeper. So we're going to start shortly. So I'm going to invite the first team that will speak, and that team consists of Abbas Temitokbe and Fumilola Oyekolade, and they are speaking on eat to live. So each of them have it's Temitokbe and Fumilola. Abbas, not yet Mayowa's time. Okay, so oh yes, I get what she did now. So we're taking the two teams first to oppose themselves on their 4 minutes. Very good. Thank you very much, man. So we have Abbas. She's going to speak for 4 minutes first on eat to live. Then after that one, we'll take Mayowa. Is going to now speak on live to eat. So the judges will assess them as they're talking, and you, the audience, will also assess them as they're talking. So, Team Tokwe, fire. You have 4 minutes.
All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Toby. Good evening to the judges, Mrs. Toby, Ogunbeku, Mr. Sorry, from South Africa, then Miss Maureen Uwachi from Sami. Good evening to the audience at home. My name is Temitokwe Abbas, and I am speaking for the motion Eat to Live. Like we all know, like as human beings, our cells are made, our body are made up of cells. And what we give, what we take, what we reciprocate with our cells is what our cells give us in return. Now, firstly, what is food? Food is what we take in to give us strength, give us energy, to help us carry out our activities as individuals. Now, we're talking about eating to live. Now, eating to live means that we are nourishing ourselves with the main goal of not to entertain our body, not to pleasure the body, because we can satisfy the body by saying, I want to take junks, I want to take this, I want to take that. But are you feeding your cells in which you want your cells to serve you right? You want to go a long day, you want to go on activities, you want to jump and not pant, you want to have a long walk and not be stressed, and yet you feed your cells with junks, you feed your cells with carbonated drinks and a lot of it. Now, looking at the area of our name, greens and grains, we understand that for every person, feeding your cells with at least one green food per day. Now, we have 7 days in a week. Now, measure this. You have fed your cells with greens every day for the next 7 days. Imagine how your heart would beat. Your heart would smile at you that you have fed it well. Same as your liver, your kidney, you are taking enough water. You have fed it with the right things. You also understand that it helps to improve blood. It helps to improve the rate at which your blood flows in the body. A lot of time, we get clotted, we get pain at joints, we have a lot of symptoms of arthritis, and then they tell you have rheumatism. Honestly, it is not romanticism. It's at the rate of which we have fed ourselves, fed our bodies with this wrong food, and they begin to react because we have failed not to eat right. Like Dr. that spoke earlier on said.
He said, more minutes.
Wow, I'm so sorry. He said something about many people spend their health finding wealth, and at the risk of losing their health and using that same wealth that they have acquired over time to nurture and spend more on their health. Now, I also want us to look at the benefits of eating healthy. You know, eating healthy, it gives you a proper heartbeat. It helps lowers your sugar level, by which you are not at risk of blood sugar, blood pressure, diabetes, and the likes. We have a lot of young people at this age whereby they have begun to develop diabetes at a very young age, and you begin to ask what happened. Is it hereditary? Is it this? Is it that? No, because of the kind of lifestyle that they have embodied, their parents have, from them, have given onto them, passed on to them these diseases that are very deadly. It helps to control blood sugar, it helps to make your skin glow, it helps to sorry about that. Yes, cost.
Time up. Thank
Yes,
you.
at the long run.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you, Team Greens and Grains. You've had your shot, your first shot. That was explosive. That was wonderful. Let's see what Team Delicious can do to refute the fact that Tokwe has raised, and they're speaking on live to eat instead. Welcome, Olumayowa, as it gives it to us. Welcome, Olumayowa. 4 minutes. Your time starts now.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Unkome Maiwa, and I'm here to speak on Live to Eat from the Team Delicious. First of all, I would like by opening my statement by saying eating to live is not a matter of survival alone. Eating food is much more than that. What do I mean? Live to eat is the enjoyment, the perfect combination of aroma, color, texture, adding up this experience to get to satisfaction, which is what? Which is to satisfy your hunger and also pleases your senses of your senses. What do I mean by that? When you live to eat, you are not just eating for eating's sake. You are eating because you know that you are what you want to eat. You are going to derive pleasure from this particular food. You are not just eating to grow. You are not just eating because everybody are eating. I would like to say this question. How will it feel if all food tastes the same? It doesn't make sense, right? If every food tastes the same, fine, you can be eating and be surviving, but that doesn't mean you are living to eat. But when you live to eat, you derive that satisfaction from the food you are eating. Now, why do we live to eat? We live to eat to differentiate between a good food and a bad food. We don't just eat for eating's sake. We eat so that we can differentiate that this particular food I am eating, it is good. This particular food I am eating is bad. That's another point. Another reason why we eat is eating is beyond eating is beyond how will I put it? Live to eat is beyond biological purpose, meaning it is beyond just eating to exist. It has to do with your social, emotional, and psychological need. Meaning it is the way you it is how you feel towards a particular food that is going to determine if you are going to derive joy from this particular food. It has to do with deriving the worldly pleasure from the particular food you are eating. Many people just eat for eating's sake. Okay, probably they are just eating to survive. Meanwhile, when you eating good food has to do with you deriving this particular pleasure. You feel it. Okay, for example, we have so many people that when they see an advert on TV, but because of their living, because they are eating to live, they cannot eat. They cannot eat that particular food because they believe what is the essence of buying this particular food? To be is just for them to exist. But when you live to it, when you see a particular advert on TV, you salivate for that food, you crave for that food, then you're able to buy the food, knowing so well that okay, I have satisfied this pleasure, this urge I have for this particular food. Thank you very much.
Great, Mayawa. You had a great shot. I hope the judges are listening and the audience are also scoring. So the two teams have had their first shot at these topics. Now we're going to take the next set of people. We're going to welcome Fumilola and Zandi to come and speak about their topics. So Tim Tokwe and Mayawa, you just wait at the background. I will bring you up later. Let's have your co-debaters come and trade it out on these topics you have raised. So we have Fumilola coming up and Zandra coming up. So Fumilola is going to talk on eating to live, while Zandra will talk on live to eat. And they both have three minutes to make their points. 3 minutes. So we're going to start with Funala. Give us your thoughts on Eat to Live in 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
Good evening, panel of judges. Good evening, Auntie Toyin. Good evening, Mr. Toby. Good evening, my co-debaters. I'm here to speak on the topic that says Eat to Live. I want to say food is fuel to our body. We only eat food to supply our energy. And when we eat food, as in not just ordinary food, but I mean a nutrition food, a food rich in protein, a food that enhances your body with a balanced diet, a food that when you eat, your system will know, yes, I ate something, that you'll be able to test yourself for the day. That whenever you are going whatever work you want to do, you feel yourself that yes, I am capable of doing it because you know I have my body for the day. Eating to live a happy, healthy life is very important for you to eat and live a happy life. If you eat healthy, you live healthy. If you eat healthy food, you you live long. Eating healthy food will help you to stay long on health. Will help you to to be able to energize your body, to be able to be full as a good go in your activities daily. And all I know is that it's to live. It's very, very good and important. It is very, very economical when you put your mind and you are like, okay, I want to go for it. You will definitely enjoy your health. It helps. It helps your daily activities. Eating to live, it helps people around you also. Not only you that will benefit from that eating alone. You know, when you cook like vegetables, you cook like fruits, you brought it home, your children, your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister will also benefit from that fruit you're eating. You understand? I remember some time ago when I wake up every
One
morning,
more
I used to eat
minute.
fruit. And I realized that my children, my mom also will take out of the fruit. But if I have not used that as an opportunity, okay, let me start eating fruit. And my mommy, my children might not eat fruit for like months. Are you get it? So I can say that eat to live food, we give you sound health, we make you achieve your goal, we energize your body and your activities. You'll be able to achieve your activities. It gives you energy to be able to focus and think well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Fumilola Oyekolade. That was a great hit, and I hope the judges are taking note. And the audience, you will get the chance to vote. Don't vote yet. After they all speak, we will now give the audience the chance to vote while the judges are collating their results. So we're going to now compare and contrast based on the general feed. So right now, we're going to have Team Delicious, and the rep is right here, Zandra Nwogu. She's going to come and talk on Live to Eat. Will she be able to confuse us or convince us? Over to you, Sandra. You have 3 minutes and it starts now.
Good evening, everyone. All right. I'm about to talk about live to eat, because live to eat is enjoyable. It's not boring. Live to eat has to deal with cultural aspect and historical things. You live to eat because when you live to eat, you enjoy varieties of food around you, from the amala, the wedu, from onubo soup and eba. You know, you have a variety of things to eat, just like the natural African food. Though you're not eating anything artificial. Everything you are cooking it fresh from the pot. Everything you're getting from your day. So everything you live as in our life revolves around it, because there's no way you can eat and be on a specific diet. Even that are doing the diet thing, how many of us inside here have the menu, as in that are following the food menu? Even those that are watching on the you find out that most of them on their cheat day, you need to see what they are eating on their cheat days. So why do they put that cheat days if they are trying to live, as in to eat, to live? So what I'm trying to tell us is living to eat, as you live your life to eat, because whenever you wake up from the morning, you're thinking of what you are going to cook. That is living to eat. You wake up, what to cook, you do this, you eat. Even when it's people to come around, you like, come around, though, I'm to offer that stew and this. When everybody will just rush, it brings also friendship to you. Even in the Bible says, even when God told Adam and Eve, he told them to eat everything. He didn't tell them eat only vegetables and this thing. He said eat everything I've created. Do you understand? Even when God the children of Israel, when they are going to Canaan, they got to a point that they were very, very hungry. Then they were like, Moses, what are we going to eat? And Moses was like, okay, wait, God will give us this. Because all of them are looking for that food. They are living for that food. So if God provided the food, they were like, okay. And God gave instruction, eat only for today. But they were, we have to grab and even save the one we will eat for the next day. So they are living to eat.
One
Everybody
more
in this
minute.
life, we are living for it. We are living it. Because there are a lot of varieties of food. You cannot tell me that I'll be looking for all those good food. I will prepare ukpono soup and hot eba. It's to eat. I'm eating vegetable. No, now it cannot work. Even those of us that go for parties, we even carry extra plates. Put your father still for me, or let me carry it go home. Because we are living to eat. We wake up, we save food, buy for people. Find out that all those women selling, they open it. Just use an example for us. Go on Instagram, check those people that are selling smoothies, fruits, and all that. Check their list and see people that ask them how much are you selling. But when you see the woman selling maybe a pussy soup on top of it, you will see everybody asking, "Madam, how much?" Or people that will be saying, "Madam, okay, let us share. We are sharing this." You will see a lot of people asking them, "How is the food?" So I'm trying to tell us that living to eat is better than eating to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandra. That was a lovely hit. Thank you, Fumi. So you guys have had your go. So right now we're going to go back to each team to come back for their rebuttal, and they each have one minute, one minute to give us a hit on their topic. So we're going to bring back Timitokwe and Mayowa to come and give their one minute hit as their rebuttal. Thank you very much, girls. Go and wait. We'll bring you back later. All right, so Tokwe, you are going to give us your 1 minute rebuttal on it to live. And we're going to see whether you'll be able to confuse us or convince us. So you have 1 minute to strike it out for the judges and for the audience to make their decisions. Start.
All right, like we know, there are a lot of genetic tendencies that we as human might have some deadly diseases such as cancer, arthritis, and the likes. But what we do, our eating habit, our lifestyle, our environmental factor will either trigger or reduce the risk at which we are prone to having these diseases. Now, we talked about having varieties. Of course, eating to live has a lot of varieties. We have varieties of fruits such as berries, we have mangoes, we have spinach, we have vegetables. You can spice it up. You can have vegetables and fruit. You have whole grain. Whole grain are your wheat, your millet, your oats. You can have starchy food like your eba. You can have lean protein such as your like your plain yogurt, your cheese, your meat, your skinned meat, where you can take away the skin of the chicken. You still enjoy these meals. You enjoy colorful varieties of food. You have the beetroot, you have the orange, you have bananas. This doesn't stop you from enjoying every bit of what you are taking into your body. It just helps you to rather live a healthy life so that you don't enjoy all these things and come back at age 50 with heart infection, heart disease, bone pain, you have kidney failure, all because you have decided to live your life to just put anything into your tummy and just wallow up in having fun. I want to mention the risk, the things that we can decide to have.
Time up. Thank you. Clap for her, Kunaka. All right, let's have Mayowa come to dish out his final rebuttal.
Thank you once again for having me. I would like by saying, living to eat is not just about eating anyhow, like my um, opponent just said. It's not just about eating anyhow, but about eating what pleases you. It's not necessary for you to eat what pleases you. And that doesn't mean you are eating anyhow. That doesn't mean whatever you see, you eat. But it's about satisfying your desire to eat a particular food, a particular good food. Not necessarily you are eating junks. Living to eat doesn't mean you are eating junks. But what it just means is that you are eating good food. You are eating not just because for survival, but you are living to eat. And what that means is you are trying to satisfy your emotional need, your psychological need, and your social need. So it's not just about eating. It's not just about eating or eating anyway. So I would just like to maintain my ground by saying living to eat is more important than eating to live. Thank you very much.
Oshe, thank you very much, Mayowa. You've given your last shot, so let's listen to your co-debaters as we round off the speeches. Let's welcome Fumi and Zandi as they come to tackle it. So you, lady and gentlemen, you can just wait for us in the studio. Let's bring up Fumi and Zandi. Come and give their 1 minute rebuttal so that we can start collating and judging. Remember, the best team goes home with 25,000 naira shopping voucher each, while the second team goes with 15,000 naira voucher each. So guys, go and cool down. Let's go and cool down. Be calming down. Let's welcome Fumi and Zandi. Are they there? Can we bring up Fumi and Zandi into the kingdom? Let's have Fumi and Zandi come and give their 1 minute rebuttal on their case tonight. We'll start with Zandi. Zandi, give us your thoughts on living to eat. 1 minute starts now.
Okay. Now, living to eat. I'm trying to round up now. In everything we do in this life, we better that we live to eat. Because living to eat does not mean, just like my teammate said, it doesn't mean that you have to eat everything. Even if you're eating everything, eat it in the right proportion. Once you eat it in the right proportion, we are fine. And as long as you are eating a natural health food that God created, Africans, we have variety, like I keep saying. If you eat without adding the artificial or Igbo seasonings and all that, you find out that you still live a healthy lifestyle, no matter what you eat, even at your old age. Remember our forefathers were eating local food and they were healthy. Some of them will even reach 100 and something years before that. But these days, even with the exercise and everything, and the vegetables we are eating, even the vegetables we are talking about, these ones that they are putting some kind of thing to use and preserve it. They use some chemicals to preserve it. So living to eat is not about you getting the wrong food, but it's about you going to your garden, as in having some kind of health things around you, cultivating your food by yourself, eating everything just like the way God created us.
Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye. We'll wait for us. Let's welcome Fumi. Fumi, come and give us your hot shots. You have 1 minute and it starts now.
Good evening. I want to say eating to live is more important than living to live, in the sense that your food should be your best. Your food should be your friend that supply your journey. Whatsoever that journey is, your food should support your happiness and well-being, not steal from it. Your food should make your life more enjoyable, less stressful, not the other way around. I want to say, there was a time I went to my father-in-law's house in Ibadan, and I found my mother-in-law cooking liver, shaki, all these organs for him, cook vegetables, ugu, and egusi, everything. I was like, wow. At 76, I was like, what is the secret behind him that is very agile? at this age. We are looking at, it's 76. But when it comes to his strength, man, you think it's 30 years. Because I don't know what that youth of now they want to do. My father-in-law cannot, because it's so active. Now I detect the secret that he eats to live well. He eats well. When it comes to food, no. He eats something, he eats nutrient, he needs protein. And I was like, wow, can I copy him? Like, so it is very, very obvious and it's clear that eat to live is more important and cheap and it's very, very
Time up.
to eat. I would like to convince you that eat to eat
Time up.
is to eat. Thank you, sir.
All right, great. Thank you, Fumi. Thank you, Zandi. Thank you, Tokme. Thank you, Mayowa. We're going to bring you up soon. So all of you, you have done a great job, a great pitch, a great. Now we're going to go over to the audience before we see the judges' scorecard. So over to the audience. We have 1 minute. Now, Temitokme and Fumi are in team green and greens, while Mayowa and Zandi are in team delicious. So, audience, you have 1 minute. So, Deborah Onu will help us collate. So, within the next 1 minute, if you want team green and green to win, type their name. If you want team delicious to win, remember team green and green is Temitokpe and Fumi, the one you are seeing now, while team delicious is Zandi and Mayowa. So you have listened to the two of them speak. So Tokpe and Fumi spoke on eating to live, while Mayowa and Zandi spoke on live to eat. So we want you to vote now. We have 1 minute now to vote. If you want team green and greens to win, type team green and greens. If you want team delicious to win, type delicious. So we're going to wait for 1 minute. After 1 minute, we'll stop taking the scores. Then we'll now take the judges. So 1 minute is counting. Put team green and green or team delicious. Don't put their name. Team green and green or team delicious. So Debbie, help us count. We have 1 minute. The 1 minute is almost over. 1 minute will soon be over. After 1 minute, we will collate from the audience who has the highest votes. They will not ask the judges. Thank you. 1 minute is over. Voting has stopped from the audience. Now, our judges, you collect your mark. For team green and grace, you collect your mark together. So whatever Tokme and Fumi scored over 30, collect it together and send to Auntie Toyin or Debbie. Whatever Zandi and Mayowa scored, put it together over 30. So we want to see what team green and green scored over 30 and what team delicious scored over 30. Meanwhile, I'm going to bring up Auntie now to come and tell us the score from the audience and the score from the judges, while our contestants wait at the background. So let's welcome Auntie Toyin to come and declare the otito of the matter. Auntie Toyin, over to you.
We are still
All of you going to be smiling.
calculating.
Let's welcome Auntie Toyin. She's going to declare the score from the audience and the score from the judges.
We are still calculating.
The INEC committee is still calculating.
INEC is still calculating. Oh. Serious calculating.
Hey, it's a serious matter. Who is going to win this battle tonight? So as they're calculating, let me inform you about the prizes. These are the prizes. The team that scores the highest mark from the judges and from the audience will go home with 25,000 shopping voucher. They can shop in any of the malls we pick. While the team that scored second will have 15,000 shopping voucher each to go and shop. They will shop till they drop under the amount of money. So as we get ready to announce, Auntie, the house is Getting hot.
Yeah, I'm even trying to look at the comments thing to calculate.
Okay.
Well, I think we should have gotten a backup calculator.
All right. So as Auntie is calculating, she's taking her time. She's sternly looking at these people. Please, no more voting. No, don't confuse Auntie. No more voting. Want to calculate how many people voted within that 1 minute in the audience while we are waiting for the judges. I can see that the thing is hot. The judges are trying to calculate they are racking their head. Which one will win? Is it eat to live or live to eat? In fact, it's a serious topic or it's jam question. Jam, heavy jam question. Let's see who will score high in this score and go to university. So as they are preparing, you'll be thinking about it. Which one makes sense to you? Should I eat to live? Or should I be alive first to eat? Very, 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 very dicey matter because it depends on your perspective. Should I actually be eating to live? That is, until there's food, I cannot live. Or how can I be alive and eat? Can people be alive first before they eat? Let me try and confuse us a little bit. If they don't give back to you, how will you eat? And if you don't eat, how will you live? So me, I don't know what to do. Thank God I'm not a judge. I'm just a moderator because the thing is so interesting. So we are waiting for Auntie Tony to come and answer us. Okay. People are waiting for the INEC to come and answer us. Okay. So let's see. But do you want me to whisper who will win? What I'm waiting for, anyone that wins, don't forget me. We'll go and shop together. Just carry me along. Just carry me. At least pity my smile that I'm smiling over here. And at least buy me ice cream or buy me. Yes. Our
All right.
INEC is on board now. Woo!
Okay. Well, so far, judges score. We have an average of 28/30 for green and gray.
Okay.
And for Team Delicious, we have 25 marks.
Wow.
Over 30. And
so from the judges,
in terms, that's it. For the judges score, that it is Team Green and Green that won from the judges' part.
From the judges,
now,
right?
counting the votes, audience votes. In fact, this is what you call landslide. I don't have comments. For the judges' votes, Green and Green, from the time we ended the voting, got 8 votes, while Team Delicious didn't get any.
Delicious with your lovely name. Oh, girl.
So I was thinking that you people in the audience, you are not fair. You mean Team Delicious not even 1 vote? I was rooting for Team Delicious.
You didn't even finish the name. The name itself. The name itself is very interesting. Oh, people are wicked. Very wicked human beings.
All right, congratulations, Team Green and Grain. Well done. And Renal, Team Delicious, you did very well. In fact, at one point I was like, I don't know which side, because all of them were making sense. So it was just a slim margin for the judges' score, So congratulations, everybody. Well done. And for all of you who stayed on this summit from back to back day one, you did well. And I hope that even though we've listened, we will be able to act on all that we had and make our lives better. So till next time, congratulations, everybody. And for those of you who are on the Audience, well done. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely 2020. I know that it's been challenging, but I know everything will come out well and we will see
That's right.
2021. Congratulations,
That's
everybody.
right.
Well
That's
done.
right. Team
And
Greens and Greens.
our sponsors, Fidelity, and all other sponsors and supporters of this program. All right, then. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you next year.
Bye.
See you next year. Green and green. Don't forget me your kingdom.
Hi, my name is Tonya Adeshola, and I have been living with sickle cell for the past 50 years. Many people with this disorder do not have the moral and particularly the financial support needed to overcome it. So we decided to do something about it. We started sickle cell advocacy with the aim of making society more aware about sickle cell and encouraging people with the disorder through moral, financial, and psychological support.
SAMI is an NGO dedicated to help people living with SCD. Actually, they provide the best free clinic, free drugs, and lots more. When I come to SAMI, I feel free, I feel lively. I feel like I'm with my family, with people that understand me fully, well enough to know what's wrong, and people I can confide in.
I've been coming here since 2015. By that time, I had back pain. They asked us to go for the X-ray. And then SAMI, they were the one that gave us the money for the X-ray. We came back. We told them the feedback that we have done the X-ray. They said it's scoliosis. And since then, they have been giving us drugs. Everything they have been giving us, all the drugs, is free.
From that 2012, they have been coming. And apart from the benefits we get through the drugs, then the checkup, we will meet other children and other people with the disorder, and you will know that yes, even with the disorder, there's still hope.
I started SAMI more out of a calling than anything else because I've been living with sickle cell for over 5 decades now, and I had a tumultuous life living with sickle cell. But sometime in my life, I wrote an autobiography, and I was invited to a TV program back then. And somebody was like, okay, why don't you be an advocate for people with sickle cell? And I was like, no, that's not my problem. I have my own issues. But God, shall I say, forced my hand to start this NGO when I had a call from somebody who said he's living with sickle cell. His parents don't want him to go to school because they feel he's going to die anyway. And that's when I realized there was really an issue that had to be dealt with. And that's how I started the NGO. And basically it's to help people living with sickle cell and their families to live healthy, productive lifestyles. So I realized we had to be more involved with the people with sickle cell. It's not enough to just motivate them or inspire them. We had to get them to understand their health is very important in managing. And what we realize is that a lot of times, because of financial issues or because of the challenges of going to a public health service or public hospital in this country, people leave their health issues till it's very late, and then they either need more money to solve the problem or they lose their loved one. So we decided to start a clinic to be a bridge between the person living with sickle cell and the hospital, so that when we spot anything, we'll be able to notify them and, if possible, help them so that they can get attention at an early stage. So we started this free clinic where we provide free drugs. We have doctors who come and consult on a monthly basis, and we found that has reduced the number of times people have had to go to hospitals. It has reduced the number of times people have faced major challenges in terms of their health care, because we've been able to spot where the challenges lie and empower them. Especially the medication has been so much of great help, because most of the time the parents can't afford to buy the drugs, and when they see free drugs, is an opportunity to help the child to live better. And then focus more on other issues rather than their health, because we're helping them with their health.